We've now gone through all of the preamble, all the setup, all the administrative stuff. Now we can start getting into our project. In this course, we're going to be building one single project. Now, if you've ever taken another course of mine, usually you know that we create a handful of different projects. But this time around, it's one single project because we are going to be building a rather large application that has a tremendous number of features and a lot of back-end and front-end aspects to it. So obviously, it's really important that you understand exactly what this application is going to do. So in this section, we're going to talk about our app and what we're going to be building, and we're going to discuss its feature set. Now, this is only a preview of sorts, so I'm just kind of giving you a little sense or kind of a feel of what this application is going to do, but we'll get a much better idea of the real exact flow and all the different features as we work through the application. So let's talk about what we're going to do. Okay, so rather than just outright tell you exactly what we're building, I want to first give you a hypothetical situation. Okay, I want you to imagine right now that you're in another person's shoes. I want you to imagine that you are like a startup owner or a product manager. You're someone who has created and deployed some type of application or service. Now, maybe your users are making use of your application or your service, but you've noticed that recently your users seem to just suddenly stop using your application altogether. And so what is step one of figuring out why people are quitting your application? Well, you ask your users why they quit. So let's imagine that you are a startup owner right now and you are deploying your app or your service. And maybe at some point in time, you want to collect some amount of feedback from your users so that you can understand why people are using it, why they're not using it, and how you can make your application better. Ideally, you might decide to send a bunch of all of your customers, so like maybe 20, 50, 1,000 customers, a single email that says, hey, it would be great if you could give me some feedback so I could better understand how you use our app and whether or not you enjoy it. Maybe some number of your customers reply to your email and give you some amount of feedback, and you then kind of tabulate or summarize all that feedback into one result set. You can then use that to somehow make your application or your service better with all that feedback. So you and I are going to be building an application that will allow a startup owner or a product manager to essentially automatically go through this process or very easily go through this process. We are going to target we're going to target startup owners or product managers with our application. And our application is going to enable them to very quickly and very easily send out bulk email messages to a bunch of their different users to collect some amount of feedback. Okay, so that's at a very high level what we're doing. We are going to make a feedback collection application that is going to be marketed to startup owners and product owners, product managers, all those types of people so that they can collect feedback from their own individual users. Now, this application is going to be quite diverse in its feature set. So immediately when you start thinking about this, okay, we want to somehow send out a lot of emails. That means the application you and I are going to have to build is going to have to somehow figure out how to send a lot of emails to a lot of people. Secondly, maybe we don't want to send out these emails for free. So all of a sudden we start thinking, well, maybe we need billing inside this application. And then if we have billing, well, we must need to have like user accounts as well. And so, hey, okay, we need authentication as well. So very quickly, you can start to get the feeling that, yeah, there's going to be a lot of different features that are going to go into this application. Now, to make sure that it's really clear exactly what type of feature set and all the different things that we're going to need to do inside this application, let's take a break, and then we're going to come back in the next section and do a real detailed walkthrough of how someone might use our application. So let's take a quick break and start to break down the actual app process of how someone would use our app in the next section.